Yes, I will. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Contemporary Issues class. Nice to have you here. And today we are going to talk about TV shows and movies. What are the current trends in TV shows and movies? And we have several folks here who say they don't watch TV beyond the evening news. And we will talk about that. Why is there nothing on TV that interests you? Is it too profane these days? Because we're going to talk about more profanity and sex and violence and the rise of that. Is that to turn off for you? So we'll talk about all that kind of thing. But first, Zoomers, welcome. Please mute yourself when you're not speaking. And we are recording this for future playback. And other announcements. Our friend Ron Puning is playing in the Highlands Range Concert Band this afternoon at 3 o'clock. If anyone would like to go and hear some classical music and pop medleys and things today at 3 o'clock at Rock Canyon High School. Oh. I am going to go watch and enjoy.
There's even some free refreshments.
Free refreshments. You can't beat that too.
What's that?
Is it on Zoom? No zooming. Can't Zoom everything. Speaking of Zoom, I have a quick question for everybody or something to think about. You know, St. Andrew has 3,000 people that watch on a Sunday on Zoom, 2,000 or 3,000, twice or three times as many as in the sanctuary. And I'm thinking, why can't wouldn't some of those be interested to join us here on Zoom from around the country? And so how do I reach those people? I'm going to ask our communications and marketing folks, and if you have ideas, please let me know. Because
this says Zoom Workplace.
Zoom Workplace, that's right.
Well, aren't we on Zoom?
We are on Zoom, but we got to reach out to people and give them a reason to join us and let them know what we're doing here. And so I just think
I would recommend talking to the communication staff.
I am going to.
They're really good people. I met them at Meals on Wheels when we were volunteering Friday, and they filmed us all.
Yes,
About
yes.
15 volunteers that
Thank
came
you.
out, and you know, they were really good guys.
Yeah.
I don't remember their names, but
In fact, in about 3 weeks or so, our communications director, Catherine Keenum, is going to join us here and be our speaker here. And we'll learn about communications and marketing, and we can ask her, how does the church market itself to the community? And because we don't do it in the old way, putting ads in newspapers and things. So we will learn about the new ways things are being done. Yeah, should be good. Okay, any other announcements? Any proposed solutions for the war in Iran? Anyone have any good ideas for that?
Yeah,
What?
it's over.
It's over? Well, we're in a ceasefire. It's not exactly over.
Impeach.
and he wouldn't lie.
Just thought I'd throw that out there in case anybody's got any great ideas. Because I like to poke the bear, my wife says. Some bears need poking once in a while. Well, it's quite a world, isn't it? All the things going on, and the rest of the world is affected by this war. It's just amazing. Yeah. Becky. How about what? The Kentucky Derby, yes. How about those Rockies and Nuggets? Yes, the Kentucky Derby.
There was a woman trainer.
A woman horse trainer?
Yeah.
That won for the first time?
Yeah.
First trainer ever.
Good for her. Go Lady Power.
Horse was a
Woman power.
Yeah.
All right.
Does anybody watch?
Since I ride at 10 speed. Oh.
Okay. We will mention that. Okay, let's talk about TV. Let's talk about television today, what we think about it. I mentioned in my email to you that I asked AI, what are the trends today in television and film. And the first thing AI said was artificial intelligence is a new trend. Studios are using artificial intelligence to write their TV shows and their scripts and to do production faster
And bring back Val Kilmer
and bring back Val Kilmer. There's a new movie
from the dead.
with Val Kilmer, who's deceased now, and which I interviewed once. He was a very friendly guy.
He's been resurrected.
But he's been resurrected and into a movie. And they say that now that will be a trend, that there will be a separate class. There'll be real movies and there'll be AI movies.
Post-mortem movies.
Post-mortem movies. They'll bring back John Wayne. You can see a new John Wayne and Elvis.
Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth.
Rita Hayworth, Gene says. Somebody said Jesus. Yeah. Maybe this will be actually a thing that'll be in demand, and people will buy these movies on demand like they do other movies. Wouldn't that be something? So that's one thing. Another trend is more, as I mentioned, more profanity and smoking and sex in TV and movies, because the streaming platforms are not regulated by the FCC like the networks
I
are.
wondered why.
So the networks can't get away with the extreme profanity on regular TV, but Netflix can, and Amazon Prime and all those, because they can do whatever they want.
Bill Maher,
Yeah.
he can say the F-bomb.
So let me read a little bit to you that AI says about this. It says, both profanity and smoking are experiencing a resurgence on television, largely driven by the growth of streaming platforms that operate outside broadcast regulations. Research from the Truth Initiative indicates a re-normalization of tobacco imagery. The number of the tobacco depictions in the 15 most popular streaming shows among youth has more than doubled in the last few years. Streaming services like Netflix and HBO frequently feature tobacco more than broadcast networks. In 2020, 60% of top shows popular with young audiences contain tobacco imagery. This is a prestigious thing, using smoking for realism and historical accuracy. Well, I can see that in old movies, because that was so much more popular and mainstream back then. But today, I don't know. Are kids smoking more? Do you see that? Vaping more? Yes, Larry.
It's because the tobacco industry is publicizing or
Publicizing.
paying to be
Uh-huh.
publicized.
But in the last 50 years, tobacco usage down, and you don't see tobacco ads on TV anymore, right? I think those are illegal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But apparently on streaming TV shows, it's coming back up.
Movies too.
And
Like-
movies.
Like Bob Dylan, he smoked all the time.
Bob Dylan, but that was in the 60s too. They were trying to be
No, I mean the
realistic.
remake of Bob Dylan.
Yeah, yeah. But that was also set in the 60s.
Timothy
So,
Chalamet.
yeah. Carol, did you have a question?
Because they're on marijuana
Because they're on marijuana too.
or vaping. It's
Okay.
a lot more common
Okay.
than people realize.
Profanity also is having not just resurgence, but continuing to go forward. Unlike broadcast TV, which is governed by the FCC, cable services are doing more profanity, saying it allows for grittier and more realistic dialogue. Shows that appear on broadcast networks have also, to some degree, increased profanity as they move, some of them move to streaming. So they go off of the regular networks and go to streaming. Criminal Minds is one that has done that and introduced the F word and other explicit terms after moving to the streaming platform. So some of them that start out that way then start using it more. So, but my question to you is, do you notice that? Does it matter to you that the F word is used, or do you just ignore it and kind of desensitize to it?
It's a lack
A lack of vocabulary.
Exactly.
A lot of us
Right.
think that, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a microphone back there too, Becky, if you want to grab that too. You're good. Gene, you're shaking your head.
No, it does bother me. I think there's, with Netflix a few years back, I got into the dynamics and the history of swearing. It's the emotionality of the time,
Uh-huh.
and one has to look at the symbolism, not just
Yeah.
what it's saying about the anatomy or motherhood or sexuality.
Right.
It's about emotionality and the feeling that's being expressed today. One has to look at the larger culture, I think, to put it in
Yes.
perspective. Why are we having?
Why are we using it? What is it supposed to
Gone with the Wind
represent?
was, I don't give a damn. That was
Right.
considered.
Oh, yeah, I remember when that was,
vulgarity.
that was terrible. Don't give a damn.
We have upgraded. We have upgraded.
We've
It's a
upgraded
reflection-
steadily.
It's a reflection of what's going on in our
Uh-huh.
culture. Much broader. than
Is there
just-
anything left?
What's that?
Anything left to say that's verboten,
Yeah.
prohibited? I don't think so,
I
Linda.
thought the F word was sort of the last of the.
I watched a documentary about the F word. It goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. Yes, it's not a recent word or usage. Not at all. That was interesting.
The
Larry,
city of Aurora is having a discussion about eliminating cursing in their city council meetings.
really?
Because they unelected a woman whose favorite word was the F word.
Oh,
Oh.
they have a policy.
Well, when you're former military, you learn to kind of let it go, ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
it's common in the
it's so
military.
common in the military.
Well, along with what Becky says, I think that it takes less creativity to write a script for a show than it does to just throw the words in like that. So I don't think they have to use their minds as much to create the right words so they just throw that in there, you know? I mean, we used to survive without it, but so it's less creativity.
There you go.
Well, nowadays kids say, oh my
Yes.
God, and that's
Well,
Uh-huh.
taking the Lord's name in vain.
the encounter today, it used to be the first kiss. Everybody waited for the end of the movie for that first romantic kiss.
Yes,
Now it's immediately into bed.
Oh,
immediately into bed,
First
yes,
date, first date.
Maybe it's
yes,
cool.
okay.
We've upgraded everything.
That's an upgrade.
What are you watching, June?
Is that an upgrade?
Well, that's the thing.
Upgrade. No
You can
grade, no
avoid those
grade,
shows
no grade.
that you think are really gonna go with the profanity and the sex and the violence. You can avoid those if you want to. Yeah, go ahead, Marge.
Question. What's it like in the schools now? Are they allowed to use certain profanity?
Well, they use it anyway.
Well, I mean, like in a classroom setting.
Do teachers discourage them, call them
It's hard
down?
to say because as a substitute, when I hear a girl say, the F word, it's like, it still startles me, but I can't extrapolate that to the classroom because I'm not a full-fledged teacher anymore.
I just wondered if there are still some places where there's a little constraint on the language.
Depends on the teacher, I believe.
Okay.
Good point, good point. Yes, Wanda,
I just
Pass it
noticed
back.
him saying, when I hear a girl.
When I hear a
Yeah.
girl, which just brought up my childhood, I had my mouth washed out.
Oh.
At my brother's.
It's like you sort of expect it from boys, but when I hear a girl do it.
Ask how many of us got our mouth washed out.
okay, Larry wants to know how many of us got our mouths washed out with soap when we were kids? Oh, about half of us. Okay,
That was in A Christmas Story.
yeah, that was in the
Little-
Christmas
yeah,
story. Right, okay, yes, Ann,
I remember in the 50s,
pass the microphone forward, please.
and I voiced that weak, it's pretty weak, isn't it? I'll just talk.
That's right, here it comes, it's right behind you. Ann.
Okay. I think it was the 50s, I graduated in high school in the 50s, but anyway, Okay, now you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember if it was the Johnny Carson show or the Dick Cavett show, but a word was used that was just a common word to anybody, I think. Pregnant. The word pregnant, and they got crucified for allowing that guest to use the word pregnant.
Oh,
That was the
instead of
beginning.
in a family way,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
and that was the beginning.
or expecting.
Allowing
Abundantly.
profanity.
Self-righteous people.
Okay, well, that's the natural progression as time goes on. We're getting more liberal on those things. Okay, Patty, go ahead.
Well, in Mary Tyler Moore's show, they weren't, a married couple weren't even allowed to be shown.
Be in the same bed.
Yes.
But going back to what you were saying about girls, raising my kids in the last, 10 years or so, they were so, used to using profanity that what I did is I said, I don't want to hear it. You can, I know that you may use it elsewhere, but I want you to practice restraint. And use your mother as an example of a time when you need to practice restraint. And what it seems like is that nobody practices restraint, and so it just is so easy. It flows out of their mouths so easily, school.
Well, it's because they talk the way they text all the time.
Mhm. Okay, yes, go ahead. Pass the microphone back. Thank you.
Thanks. Well, I think of, like, when young kids, like you were talking about, when it's like where these kids grow up is, and what their first jobs were. I think of when my first real fun job was as a camp counselor, and there was hardly any profanity in that situation. And then unfortunately, my leader, director, owner of the place offered me a job to go back as a wrangler, you know, a higher position. So I wanted to make more money, so I worked a roofing job. And went from, you know, a day happy, you know, fun place up in the mountains to, oh my God, working in a warehouse where everybody said the F word as like seemed like every sentence.
Yeah.
It really freaked me out.
Mhm.
So it really.
Different in different places.
Different places.
Yes.
Yeah, where it happens.
Very true. But in the common public areas, I don't think we hear it that much. I don't hear it. Even staying next to kids at restaurants and things, I don't hear kids using the F word all the time, most of them. Yeah. Go ahead, Marge.
Well, I am very much a victim of this change in usage of language because, man, growing up, my dad was a vet. We never used or heard any, even the D word, you know. So, now I gotta admit it, you know, I have a bit of a potty mouth at times, especially in certain situations. And, I even tried to give up swearing for Lent one time. I think I was wise enough to know it's not a binary thing. It's not, oh, you know, either do it or don't do it for the whole 40 days. So I just sentenced myself to doing push-ups if I swore.
Oh, good for you.
Because I knew I could not swear. But, you know, I feel like it's been normalized in my own life and, you know, you can attest to this. There are certain situations where,
I just leave the room.
So, I can't imagine it isn't happening to lots of people to get it normalized.
Yes, okay.
One way to build
Let's-
your biceps.
Yeah.
Good for you. I think a lot of families had also a swearing jar at home. Remember, kids would have to put in a quarter or something if you swore. Okay, let's talk about television violence for just a minute. AI says that in the last 30 years, there's been a steady rise in violence, especially on dramas on TV. Today, 60 to 80% of all TV programs contain violence, often without showing any negative consequences or people having to be held to justice for it. Platforms like Netflix and HBO are less restricted than traditional television, often showing more explicit gore and violence. So what are the impacts of this? Extensive exposure to violent content is linked to more aggression in children. And viewers can learn violent behaviors through observation and modeling on TV. Reminds me of 30 years ago when I was a newspaper reporter covering courts and crimes in Kansas City. We had one case where a guy robbed a liquor store and shot and killed the clerk. And the prosecutor said that the perpetrator said, "I bucked him just like in the movie Kids." Now it escapes me. But it was a movie at that time that showed violence in a certain way of a guy robbing a liquor store. And so the perpetrator said to the police, "Yeah, I killed him just in the way I saw it in this movie." And that was presented at the trial. So I always remember that example of somebody who modeled an exact thing that he saw in a movie.
So that made it okay because it was in a movie? Right.
That's the question. So should they not show those kind of things in movies because somebody's going to copy it? Or actors say, you can't put a chill on movies like that and say we can't show any violence because somebody might go out and do the same thing.
That brings up the issue of video games.
Video games too.
The two Columbine shooters watched Doom, the video game Doom.
Yes. Mhm.
I just want to, sorry, I've talked too much, but I just want to highlight the hypocrisy. The height of hypocrisy was when Will Smith walked up on the Oscar stage and slapped
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
And yet there they are representing an industry that will shoot everything in sight, all these movies where hundreds of rounds go off in the movie scene. No one gets hit, right? The heroine never gets hit, or the hero, because they always have to finish off the movie with a fist fight at the end instead. But, there was such an uproar over the slap when look what this whole industry.
Oh, but no talk about the worst things the industry does. Yes. The movie I was trying to remember was called Boys in the Hood.
Oh.
I remember that one. Yeah, about inner city things. Okay, last section here is on drug and alcohol use. AI says that 71% of primetime programs depict alcohol and some sort of illicit drug use today. Drinking scenes appear more often than they did before. A new show like Euphoria, it's called, provides intense portrayals of teens in drug addiction, focusing on relapse and trauma, and sometimes showing and calling drugs cool and glamorous. A new show called The Studio and Hacks have also been noted for showing characters using cocaine, often with comedic effect. And so that has angered addiction counseling services too that are trying to combat that kind of portrayal.
Isn't alcohol advertising banned?
Alcohol advertising ban? I don't.
It used to be.
No, I don't think so.
Not beer.
It used to be.
Not beer. I don't know. Beer and wine maybe are.
Hard liquor.
The tequila ads.
Tequila ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's good to drink a glass of wine.
Okay,
You don't have
let
to
me
drink
mention
sweet.
news too. Who's, since we're going to talk about, some folks just watch the news. Who is the leaders in the news department?
Unfortunately, it's Fox.
Fox News was one of the most watched programs in total viewership recently. And it's had rising viewership since Trump was elected. MS Now is the most watched show in total viewership And the Rachel Maddow show is the most popular on that network.
Wait a minute, which is more, Fox or MS?
Fox is more.
Yeah.
Most
Fox,
watched in
Fox
total
has more
viewers.
viewership, 4 million.
But then
at 5
MS Now
p.m.
says most watched in total viewers and the demo continued.
And the demo continues to go up. CNN, Anderson Cooper's 360 was the network's top performer in total viewership. But these go up and down. And quickly, in network news, ABC World News is generally the top most watched network program. ABC, NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas was second with 6 million viewers. And CBS also recently has enjoyed strong numbers since Donald Trump's April 1 address on the Iran war. So
I can't watch ABC.
ABC, you can't watch ABC anymore?
If you have Xfinity, Xfinity canceled ABC. I can't watch it anymore.
I hate that.
Yes.
If you watch the Dynasty about the Murdochs,
Uh-huh.
you don't have to watch it all, but it shows how they developed Fox Network. It's very interesting, just how, what they grabbed a hold of and how it became popular. It's a pretty.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just sort of.
They put together the blonde girls and
Yes, yes.
so they had a look
Yeah,
and,
the look and Roger, what's his
Roger
name?
Ailes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Ailes, yeah.
Yeah, until his downfall from harassing the women.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
all you can think about when you're watching.
I know, that's what I think about too.
Are
Yeah.
they in a big family fight right now? Probably,
Yeah.
The Murdoch family's in a fight. They own Fox News and many other things. So, yeah, they're in a fight over ownership of that.
I watch Lawrence O'Donnell.
You watch Lawrence O'Donnell, Jim says, okay.
He's right.
Yeah.
He said.
Okay, I want to ask our fellows who watch only the news. Larry, tell us why you watch only the news and not other TV shows. Do they not hold any interest for you?
I'd rather read a book.
Rather read a book. Okay, Linda?
I only watch news, but
Okay.
it's because of my hearing. And a news broadcaster looks at me and they speak one at a time, so I can hear them. But
Okay,
the other programs,
hard to hear.
yeah,
Use closed
it's just noise.
So what you do to compensate for that is get the subtitles, because I'm totally deaf. But I have cochlear implants.
So do I,
Do you, so
totally deaf.
do
Can you
subtitles.
imagine?
Yes, but then why bother having TV on? Because I can't look and read at the same time.
Find in your eyes to see what's going on, but I agree with you, it's hard to do both.
Yeah.
But you have to learn to kind of
I'm a
go
slow
back and
reader.
forth.
Subtitles and closed captions. I'm gonna go to our Zoomers in a minute and ask their opinion on news and other things. So if you have a question, but Susie first.
What I noticed about TV shows is, don't forget, they have music. And that's what makes it hard. The music in the background, sometimes you can't hear what they're saying. Now, if you watch the news, you can hear everything because there's no music in the background.
Point. Sometimes the music is,
Cause for some shows, I can't.
Where's the music?
the music is so loud it drowns out the people
That
talking.
is a music channel, you know, with all the different kinds of music.
Very good. Okay, I want to ask Doug or Jane on Zoom if they would like to come in. What TV shows are favorites for you? Doug has his hand up. Go ahead, Doug.
Well, I would respond by, I do watch the news, but it helps if I have a drink in hand. Far more tolerable, far more tolerable. Steph and we tend to watch a lot of Netflix kinds of things that have a lot of episodes, because when we like something, then we can binge it. And, that's entertaining to us when we can do that. So I don't drink when I watch those, but just one
Now, wait a minute, Doug.
one drink on a news broadcast.
my next door neighbor, Vicky and we get together with Doug and his wife Stephanie, and we watch Outlander, the wonderful show. And we have wine when we do that, Doug. So we have to admit that we do that.
We do. Well, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Okay. All righty. Well, speaking of TV shows, let's talk about, let's look at which shows are the top network shows at the moment. And I've got a little handout for those in class, and I'm going to share it here and ask if any folks like these shows and watch them. So here are the top 20 network shows rated here. The top one is called Tracker on CBS. Justin Hartley is a survivalist who solves crimes and finds people, tracks them down. He's a detective, finds people. Anybody watch that? Enjoy that?
Pretty good. but
Mary
there's
does?
Not much variety.
There's not much variety. That's why I haven't really got hooked on that.
They're changing it up.
Okay, Becky says they're changing it. It was kind of the same thing every show I watched.
Well, now
So,
he's trying to find out about his dad.
okay, now he's trying to find his own dad.
It was good to look at.
Okay, Becky.
Kind of easy on the eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's a cute guy, so that helps. Okay, the second one is called Marshals. That's a spin-off of the Yellowstone, with the son from Yellowstone as a marshal on horseback.
I didn't want to get started with that, Steve, because I was afraid after 2 episodes, they'd switch to Paramount Plus.
They have done that. I watched the first few of those, and they were so much the same that kind of like Tracker, I kind of lost interest. Did you all too? Fortunes did too? Okay. Number 3, 60 Minutes.
That's my favorite.
That's on Sunday nights. That show's been going on for 40, 50 years. I'm amazed that it has the popularity that it does as a in-depth news show. Yeah, yeah. But as dumb as Americans are sometimes, I'm surprised it's so popular.
Mike Wallace was my favorite.
Yeah. Okay, number 4, my wife likes Chicago Med. Good stories, different every week,
Is that
good
like
characters.
ER? Is that like ER?
It's kind of like ER. Uh-huh. Yeah, good show. Number 5, the first comedy, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. Anybody like that one? It's not really our demographic, is it? It's about 20-something kids in their first marriage. Number 5 is High Potential. Another, Becky likes that one? Okay. A girl who's like super smart and knows how to solve crimes. Goes to a crime scene and sees things other people don't. Like Monk. Anybody remember with the Monk TV series? He was such a character, and he would see things like that too. NCIS, still up there. Survivor. Any fans of Survivor, that's just been on 10 or 20 years now? It's still popular. American Idol, very popular still, and those similar ones. And then you get down to those that are the Fire Country and Chicago Fire and Sheriff Country. They're kind of all in the same genre. Anybody watch those? On occasion? No big fans, Gene?
You're admitting a show that should be there somewhere. Reason I know, we have an extended family member who's been on Law and Order back in New York City for years and years, and she's still on it. And my understanding was that's the longest standing one that's on television.
Yeah.
Currently, Law and Order.
Mhm.
I don't see it here though.
I don't see it on this one, but this is just one from April 26th. So, but yes, that's been on for a long time. Okay. All right, then let's go to, we got about 20 minutes left here. Let's go to Steve's recommendations. We'll see. Doug, can you see that? Is it on the screen here that shows Steve's recommendations? Okay. I want to see if you all watch any of these. On Amazon Prime, There's a top one called The Pit,
Yeah.
hospital drama with Noah Wiley. It's also on HBO Max, so if you want to watch it on there too. But really a good drama with good characters and more realistic, without being depressing and belaboring, issues that can wear you out. But how many watch that? People like it? Boy, about half the class. So Vicki and I really recommend that show. Then there's another one Vicki and I watched called American Classic, with Kevin Kline as an actor who goes back to his hometown and puts on a play. And it's just really a cute show. And what do you not like about Kevin Kline? He's such a nice character too. And that's on Amazon Prime too. And then there's one called Gray House about Civil War and the Underground Railroad. Watched that? I thought that was pretty good. Although they all talk like they're really Southern. They all kind of overdo the Southern accent. They were Southern, that's right. That's right, madam. Okay. And then there's one that Vicki and I enjoyed called 10 Pound Palms, about an Australian family, or a family that came from England, Europe, and to Australia, and in the 60s, I think. And just very interesting on their journey and how they tried to assimilate into life in Australia. And that's one of the BritBox series. If you're looking for really good period pieces, BritBox is, Fortunes Are Nodding. You've seen some of those series too. There's a whole bunch of them.
Watch so much BritBox.
Yes, so much. And every one of those are well produced and interesting.
They don't swear as much.
They don't swear.
Yes, they do. But not the bad side.
Right, Jane, that's right. Yeah. And then there's The Chosen, about Christ, the life of Jesus Christ. It's still going on, I think, and is very good, but it takes a while to get into it because it's kind of slow, but it builds over time. We've enjoyed that.
Are any of those Amazon Prime movies, are they charged or are they included in the base package?
They're both. It depends. Amazon Prime and others, they have a free section.
Right.
If you pay for Amazon Prime, you can watch for free. And then other ones show a little lock on it, a yellow symbol that's locked, and it says for $9.99 you can watch this movie or subscribe to HBO Max. So all of these platforms are interconnected. And so it can be confusing to try and watch and figure out what's going on.
They get you caught up in the first episode and you don't know what's gonna happen next.
And then they charge you, like watch the first one for free and then the next ones are pay, and that's how they make their money. Yeah.
They can have it.
Okay, Netflix, let me recommend a couple on there. Vicki's watching one right now called Staircase, about
Based on a true story.
based on a true story of a guy who came home and found his wife dead at the bottom of the staircase. And so he said she must have fallen down the staircase. Well, as you find out, time goes on, maybe he wasn't telling everything. And maybe he pushed her.
Well, he didn't come home.
He was already home.
They were out by the pool.
Okay. But Colin Firth is a really good actor
And
from
he does amazing in this.
from Mamma Mia and other things, and his whole family gets drawn into it. And some of his kids think he killed her, and some of them think he didn't kill her. And
Well, they're not all biological.
and some of them were his kids, and some were her kids, second marriage. And so Vicki recommends that. Then there's Bridgerton, about black and white royalty, where blacks and whites were both royals in the old days, and you never hear one word about racism because the writers wanted to create a show where you didn't have to deal with that. There was complete equality back in the English days, which wasn't really true, but it makes for kind of a fun show. And then there's Virgin River, kind of a fun little romance show. And there's the movie Nuremberg, about the World War II trial of, who was it, Eric? It was
Hermann Goring.
Hermann Goring.
And he's a psychiatrist.
And he's a psychiatrist. Very good portrayals. Yes. And then Vicky just watched one about Christian cults called The Unchosen. In England, is it? 6 episodes, was it? So not real long, but I haven't watched it yet, but very, very good, you said. Okay. And just a few more here. On Apple TV, of course, we pay, what, $12 a month for each of these things? So each of these platforms, so they add up, don't they, Jane? Like crazy, they add up. Drops of God, about wine experts on Apple TV. A young man and woman who are wine experts, and they look for the best wines all over Europe and try to track them down. Kind of interesting, different thing. And then one called Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm as a thief. He was a financial planner in his neighborhood till he got fired, and then he couldn't get a job, and so he has to pay this big mortgage that he had. So he started robbing his neighbors in the middle of the night and taking their expensive property and selling it to a fence. But he said it's just a stopgap job until he gets another job.
And his neighbors have so much excess that they don't
even realize
it's
that,
gone.
well, he's only trying to steal like their Cartier watches and things that they
And
won't
they have
miss.
4 or 5 of them.
And they
At
have
least.
so many.
I know.
So he's kind of a thief with a heart of gold. Yes.
Do you watch Pluribus on Apple?
Pluribus.
Good, and it's kind of spiritual.
Yeah.
Spiritual, okay.
Yes.
Pluribus. We'll do that one, okay. Just a few more. On Paramount Network, a new one called The Madison with Michelle Pfeiffer as a widow. So this is kind of a spinoff from Yellowstone too, but she's a widow from New York whose husband used to go on vacation to Montana, and he dies while he's fly fishing in a plane crash in Montana with his brother. And she didn't know anything about his life in Montana until he died. And then she brings her daughters, and they all go to Montana where it happened. And interesting the way it unfolds. They discover his love for the West and the outdoors, and so it contrasts New York life with Montana rural life.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
You think it was beautiful, Jane? Yeah, very good characters.
We were having dinner with our kids last night. We were having dinner with our daughter and her husband last night, and they have 2 in college and 1 in high school. And we recommended that they watch that. And last night, they both looked at each other and said, we want to live that life when our kids are gone. And my son-in-law said, I'm already looking for property in Montana. And she said, I just want to sit by a stream and drink my coffee and read a book. And I said, get away from the world.
Well, Jerry Butler's going to Montana.
Yeah, Jerry Butler's going to ask you how Montana is. Just a couple more. On HBO Max, I've enjoyed one called Night of 7 Kingdoms, set in the Middle Ages, and it's a Game of Thrones spinoff. But it's very good about a young guy who becomes a knight. And then others on network TV and Stars, Outlander, Vicki and I
Does not
enjoy.
follow the books.
Doesn't follow the books,
No.
Alice said. Okay, and May 15 is the finale. So the series finale.
If they kill off Jamie, I'm gonna be upset.
I know. Okay,
As long as they don't kill
there we go. Okay. So anybody got any favorites of those that you enjoy? Yes, Marge, go ahead.
I highly recommend Jury Duty. It's a limited series, and the audience is in on the joke, but it's a fake trial. And there's one juror that is not in on the joke. So it's all about what this cast of characters, they're all actors, and all of the things they pull, the stunts. But it sounds like, oh, gee, this is mean, a mean premise. But it is so heartwarming. And the audience is in on the joke from the very
Okay.
beginning. So, if you get a chance to watch that, James Marsden is like the celebrity that's in on it, but has anyone else seen that? Yeah. Okay, okay.
Very good. Okay. Jim,
I was wondering if any class members have served on a jury.
Jim asked if any class members have served on a jury.
That's an
Long
interesting
time
experience.
ago.
Quite a few, yes. Uh-huh.
Murder.
A murder, you did a murder trial? And
Oh, wow.
you were sequestered. Very good.
Oh, wow. A
Yes.
mail case.
Very good. Okay, Carol, do you have the microphone, Carol?
I don't notice anything on PBS.
Anything on PBS? Vicky loves Call the Midwife.
Oh, I
on
love
PBS.
it. Finally, one that I like.
Yeah.
It doesn't have violence. It has people giving their lives in service to the poor. And it
Yes.
just is heartwarming.
Yeah.
All these things that have so much violence in it, it just makes me sick from the start. But to have these, these heartwarming things, some of them coming out of Britain, and you were mentioning before about All Creatures Great and Small.
Yeah, I like that.
Some of these things on PBS, I feel like, I just feel like, what am I, some kind of, I don't know, I want something very
Uplifting.
uplifting.
Good
something,
word,
you know,
uplifting shows.
things
Yeah.
that are, yeah,
You're stepping back in.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
The Waltons was sort of like that.
Well, yeah, that
Whoa,
might be a
yes.
little bit soon,
Yeah.
but I love, that kind of stuff.
Did you see Victoria?
No.
Carol wasn't done. Go ahead, Carol. Use the microphone, please.
I was just gonna say, there's some great mysteries.
On PBS.
Yeah,
And
what happened to
and some of them are like
Theater?
7 or 8 episodes.
Uh-huh.
And yes, and where the writers are really good
Yeah, it's very
on these
clever.
mysteries. I mean, one that I just finished a series of was Inspector Woodline.
Oh,
Which was
yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
And another one was, now there's one called Inspector Gently.
Yes.
And that one's good, but I mean, they're really quality
They
kind
are,
of
yes.
shows, and there's some violence in them, but it's not overdone. I don't think. And then there's Sherlock Holmes is the new one that I just started watching. So.
A lot of good ones.
There's some really good shows.
Yes. Gene.
Picking up on what Patty and others are saying here. Our granddaughter's in the film business out in Los Angeles, and she's going to be here this coming week, the Denver Film Festival. She has a short film, but she's on the staff of Grey's Anatomy, medically oriented, and there is an interest. The pit, you were mentioning some of the medical. Would you like to have me ask her? Is there press on the writers who are writing the scripts for sex and violence? How much pressure? She's particularly interested in using Shakespeare and modernizing and et cetera. So, but is there a press?
Yes,
to
ask
have
her.
more sex and
If
violence?
there's pressure on the writers
To
to
keep
do
the
more sex.
consumer
Yep.
sufficiently satiated and satisfied.
Yeah.
Or what, and to get a thrill or whatever.
Ratings.
Would you like me to ask her?
Yes,
ask her?
please do.
I'll see her next week.
Yeah.
this coming week.
That's a great
What kind of-
question.
What kind of press is on them in that respect?
Do the network's executives tell them, put more sex and violence in there?
But Grey's Anatomy has a little mix, it's a kind
Yeah,
of mixed
a
bag.
lot of that's about who likes who too on the show.
Relationships, which is key
Relationships.
for a lot of films these days.
Oh, yeah.
People are hungry about relationships, anything dealing with relationships.
Yes.
Whatever form and shape it takes.
That's true, different forms and, yeah.
How about Heartland?
Heartland,
The horses?
the horse ranch. Uh-huh.
Did you like it? That's
Yeah,
nice.
that's a cute show. A wholesome show too. I like that word.
It's going for like 18 seasons.
Canadian.
What channel is this on?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Any other recommendation?
Yeah, what about NCIS?
NCIS, you
It
like
is
that,
on there.
That's the
Rosalinda?
only thing I watch.
The only thing you
I
watch
mean,
is NCIS.
80% of the time.
80% of the time you watch
Because it is
this.
a story that is not too violent and not too this
too
and that,
violent.
just, I can go to sleep afterwards.
I can go to sleep afterwards, she
Yeah.
said. Do they always catch the bad guy?
Oh, yeah,
And
eventually they will.
Eventually, they always get the bad guy. Well, that's not realistic though, is it? Sometimes they never
Well,
do
not,
catch the
not in
bad
the
guy.
same show, maybe 2 or 3 times later.
I like
Okay.
watching those Ken Burns PBS.
Oh, yeah.
Passport,
Oh,
PBS Passport, like the Rose.
the
Times
Revolution,
show.
the American Revolution right now by Ken Burns. You've been watching that? Oh, that's good.
He does good stuff.
Yes, and the Buffalo one was very good, Alice, right?
In the Dust Bowl.
And the Dust Bowl, uh-huh. And those are on PBS usually, so we can find it. National Geographic, okay?
Travel with Rick Steves.
Travel with.
Oh, Rick Steves has the best travel shows, and those are on PBS usually too.
But that gets old.
And he's on Friday night on CBS. The last part is always, an interesting guy that does interviews.
Oh, the CBS Evening News
On Friday night, the last part of the show
is about travel?
no,
Okay.
it's a guy
It's a
that
good,
does interviews all over the.
oh, yes,
really-
uh-huh,
I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Jose something
yeah, it does uplifting.
on Sunday nights.
One of those news shows always has, one of those CBS or national news shows at night, always has happy news at the end.
Right.
You know,
NBC
oh, here's a
on
cute
Sunday night.
proposal somebody did, or here's a new panda born at the zoo.
That was Jose something.
Yeah, but it's nice they have 10 seconds of happy after 20 minutes of negative.
I miss Charles Carrault
Charles Carroll, that's right.
and his motorhome
On the road.
on the road.
On the road again,
Charles
Carol.
Monday morning, yeah.
Anybody remember Huntley Brinkley?
Huntley
Oh,
Brinkley,
yes.
Walter Cronkite,
Oh,
yes.
That was a good news show.
And Irving R. Levine, NBC News, Washington.
Well, we're showing our age. Carol, did you have something you want to say?
The dog whisperer.
The dog whisperer, she likes too. Yes,
Very.
if you like dogs.
Who doesn't like
I like other people's
It's
dogs.
your
If
best.
you don't, it may not be
I
your,
like some dogs.
you like some dogs, but not our dog. Right. Very good. Okay, we are about out of time. Any final thoughts on what?
I wonder who does watch TV now? I know our age group obviously does, but I would imagine that little kids, like from 18 months even, maybe to before they go to school. But what about elementary school kids and high school kids and young parents? Are they very into, I don't
High
think
school
they
kids,
are.
they watch YouTube. And
Yeah,
you know,
I
And
don't
they
think
have all
they
these
are.
games.
That they're
My
involved in.
grandson,
Yeah,
he just,
yeah.
he doesn't even talk to you. He has this thing on and this and that.
YouTube is like the most popular.
Yeah, well, I know our kids, our daughter and her husband are just now 50. And they're finding that they have a little more time to watch a little bit of TV. But before that, they had no time. Their TV was never on,
Yeah.
So I just.
And sometimes they watch with their daughters, the Hallmark movies,
Oh, yeah.
Christmas movies, and they cry at the Hallmark Christmas movie. At the kiss at the end. Yeah, with that formula. They always meet at the beginning and they don't like each other and then they kind of like each other and they kiss at the end, right? Yeah.
Vicki, I was gonna respond to what you're saying in regard to, I have a couple of friends who have young children and they don't have a television in their
Yeah.
house.
Oh, yeah.
Intentionally. And
Right.
they're very selective on what they let
But
their
they do
kids
have a
watch.
computer
They
screen.
bring out the smartphone for the kids to watch a specific program or
Right.
two.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Interesting.
They're not.
Well, they're
exposed
watching
to-
Broncos and stuff.
Some people can watch on their smartphones. Yeah, Gene and then Carol.
Well, I can ask that question. We're blessed or cursed, I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
Our other granddaughter is with the film business back in New York and distributes film. And it's her job to test the markets around the country, what's hot and what's doable, et cetera. She obviously is positive about the question you're asking, but I could see if she could give a little date, because she's not in the business to lose business, quite to the opposite.
Ask her that
Okay, We got
question.
Nicole
Yeah.
on the West Coast, but I'll ask that question.
Yeah.
Is there a market projected as well as what we have currently?
sure.
Is it diminishing? So
Yeah.
I'd be happy,
Yeah, I think that's.
just
a
by
great
virtue of
idea, 'cause it
having
makes
those
me
resources.
wonder.
We could ask that question if you like.
Yes, please do. We've got just a minute or two left.
Okay.
Top movies in the theater, right now is about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's the top one this week. And then others are, their children's movies are really popular at the theaters, and horror movies, which the teenagers and the 20-somethings like the scary movies. And then the ones, adult entertainment, like we used to have, it's down there below those other categories. Now it's kids' movies and horror and sci-fi, yeah, and revival, yeah, sequels of superheroes and things like that. Who had their hand up over here? Oh, yeah, Wanda, go ahead.
I'm gonna talk about sports. I'm watching a lot of basketball.
You watch a lot of sports on TV, okay, yeah, good. Good to know. Okay, we're wrapping it up, Carol. The dog whisperer, yes, we heard about the dog whisperer. Very good. Okay, thank you, everybody. Good to see you. Come back next week for the recycling topic. Bye-bye.
Next week.